What is happening, folks and faithful? I'm Lawrence. Welcome to Platform 246. Thank you so much for stepping up, coming in tonight. It's 7 o'clock. Happy Monday. What is it? No, shit, it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday to you. It's November 1st. Thank everybody for coming in. We want to talk some Niners today, talk some CMC, uh, some Jeff Wilson. Man, we got a lot to talk about, maybe, possibly. So let's get into it. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's get that out the way. Now that we've done that, again, welcome to Platform 246. Thank you so much for stepping up again tonight. Man, the Niners, Niner ganger don't bang. We got the W. We took care of the sheep. They were herded this past Sunday. And a lot of our players played well. Since that game, though, some players that play well are no longer with the team. No, it's not who you all want and think. In fact, it's a player who apparently team-wide, officials in the team, coaching staff-wide, and he himself are all pretty upset about it, but it was something that had to be done. That's Jeff Wilson. And we're going to get into that. But first of all, we defeated the Los Angeles Sheep, where it was a 31-14 this past week in a 17-point beatdown of the Rams. They deserved and earned every bit of it, though. No turnovers for us. We did not pick off Matthew Stafford in that game, which is a fucking surprise. But we did not pick off, I already said a curse word within 2 minutes of the, or bad one too, within 2 minutes of the stream. But we did not pick off Matthew Stafford. I was quite shocked about that. Also shocked that we did not throw any interceptions of our own. So there you go. But we did get the W, 31-14. And people came to play. We're starting with the defense. We had people like Bosa and Fred Warner recording sacks. Fred Warner, 12 tackles and a flying missile drop with his head. Not a missile drop kick, a missile headbutt into some guy, some player for the Sheep. Who cares? Knocked him clear out of the screen's view. Literally flew like a javelin, body flat out over somebody, over Hufanga, and fucked that guy up. So shout out to Fred Warner for that hit on the sideline. It's gone viral. He also did pick up another sack this season. And then, of course, Bosa picked up his sack. Now, I thought he had two in the game because he came up with the ball on Fred Warner's sack. But no, it's just like a jailbreak, and literally everybody was up Matthew Stafford's ass. So the only thing bad that did not happen to Matthew Stafford was throwing an interception, which, again, is a big surprise. But on the other side of the ball, let's go ahead and talk about him. And you all know who him is. Him would be James Richard Garoppolo, who quite possibly had not only his best game of the season. James not only had his best game as a 49er, he probably had the best game of his goddamn life. Okay. James Richard Garoppolo, again, was 21 of 25 for 235 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. No interceptions. Zero interceptions. Can you believe that? I know I can't, but it actually happened. James threw no interception. Now he almost threw 2 interceptions. So let's backtrack and start over with his day. I saw a lot of stuff online over the last 48 hours or so, or I guess that would be like 50 something hours, 52 hours, some shit like that. Over the last 50 plus hours, saying that James was balling out of control. No one at all mentioning the 2 near interceptions that he threw on plays that were just, that were James plays that he does quite frequently, especially over the middle of the field. But he, again, did not complete those interceptions. He completed quite a few passes, 21. Now, he only had 235 yards in that completion. So that's like an average of about 11 yards per pass. So that means that you got the ball to the receiver and he pretty much got down. Now, why does that happen so much? Can anybody tell me? I'll tell you. It's because his passes are usually almost always off target, off target. So what I mean by that is high, the hospital balls that James is known to throw. And then, of course, behind or, in some cases, low. That's a rarity. Usually, most times he's high. Whether it's a short pass or a long pass, he's usually high. But in this game, he was still able to complete those passes, 21 out of 25. But only now, if he was able to lead receivers more like a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL are right now, we would pretty much be untouchable. But unfortunately, we cannot get that out of him. But that's okay. What we did get was efficiency in this game. To break down Jimmy G specifically, and I know all of you want to call him Jimmy, even though that's not his name. But to break down James, specifically, he was strong in the pocket. He stood tall in the pocket. And I saw, on Twitter, and follow us page on Twitter at Bam Bam LLD, BAMBAMLLD. On Twitter for the 49ers, though, they're saying that he was also extremely accurate. And I wouldn't say he was extremely accurate. I would say that specifically he was on target, maybe in the area, in the vicinity of the players, of the receivers. But I wouldn't say that he was, overly accurate in the game. Now, what I will give him credit for was, I guess you can say, he did a rollout touchdown pass to George Kittle. I don't know if that was a call on the play or what happened. The Christian McCaffrey touchdown was also an ad-lib play. So there you go. James going through his progressions, staying in the pocket, not getting jittery. We don't need jittery G. We need what everyone calls you, Jimmy G. Now, you don't play like that generally or normally, but everyone still continues to call you that. So, James, what we need from you is a whole lot more of what we just saw this past Sunday. The faithful need it. Because not only did it help us to win the game, and you did, but it sent a whole lot of fans into a frenzy. A whole lot of Niner fans. A whole lot of us started saying, see, if the line would just block, if the defense can get more than one stop per game, come on now. Let's be for real. Let's live in reality. Okay. He played an efficient game. Primarily because the other team is bad. Real bad. We all have seen the James life cycle, the quarterback life cycle. Our quarterback, our current quarterback. We've all seen that online, I'm sure. Underdog mentality, or plays like shit. Everybody wants him benched. Underdog mentality goes off. I don't know why that's even on the picture, but goes off against a bad team. Fans don't want him benched. I still want him benched. I wish he could be benched because he's still the same guy, but he did play a very good game. So I want to give a shout out to James Richard Garoppolo, to number 10, the quarterback on our team right now. You played an efficient game. Thank you for that. You're a job done. You did your job on this past Sunday, and that helped us to be. Now that person is aged, by the way. The quarterback of our team right now is 8-0 in the regular season against the Sheep. And how bad is it to lose to a team 8 times in a row? Jalen Ramsey, who hates us, because he said he went on crying on Instagram after the game. Man, I'm tired of losing to them. It's like he in Twitter and stuff, like he was giving some secrets. But he also dropped at least one interception right in his hands, right in his helmet, right in his face mask. He had a face mask pick and he dropped it. And then he starts pushing Robbie Gould, our kicker. But how do you beat a team 8 times in a row in a regular season? You have to, at some point in time, it seeps into their mind. And if you don't know, the 49ers at one point in time have beaten the Rams like 30 times in a row over a span of, 10, 15 years. That defeated them like 30 times in a row. And now we're already just about a third of the way there. See you next season. But we did get the W, and someone that helped us do that, of course, just as much as James, Big J, was CMC. Let me know if I did it correctly, son, when you see this. I think I did it backwards. But CMC, Christian McCaffrey, signed to us on the Thursday prior to the Kansas City game. It did not help. But we had a full week with him this last week, and he was able to get practice in. Did you all see the picture of him and Kyle Shanahan standing together with Christian McCaffrey with those big ass khaki pants on and that long belt? And so he stood there in front of Kyle with his everyday uniform, the red shirt and the pants and whatever, and some form of a hat. And they were just looking in each other's eyes, gazing in each other's eyes. It looked a lot like when Kyle was babysitting him or supposed to be babysitting him, because he continues to tell the story that he didn't babysit Christian McCaffrey. His sister babysat Christian McCaffrey. But if Kyle was to babysit Christian McCaffrey, at some point in time, he probably would have looked in his eyes like that and been like, "What are you doing? It's time for bed." But they were gazing each other's eyes in the hallways, the dungeons of Inglewood. What do you think that Kyle was saying to him at that time? He likely wasn't blowing stuff out of his mouth. But what do you think Kyle was saying to, pardon me, Christian McCaffrey at that moment? I think what he was saying is, "Boy, we're about to go off. They don't even know what's coming. They don't know what's about to hit them." I think that's what he was saying. The team barely knows the shit that I'm about to call right now and what I'm going to call it. Thank you, Christian. Thank you. Christian McCaffrey had 149 yards in total from scrimmage, I believe. 91 yards rushing. Can't wait till he eclipses 100 yards rushing. I didn't even know that he had creeped up to that long run at the end of the getting close to the end of the game. Spectacular. We're going to see a whole lot more of that. But he had about 150 yards in total offense. That's 34th passing, receiving, and throwing the ball, running the ball, kicking the ball. Christian McCaffrey basically did everything for us, including still the win. He had 3 touchdowns, the trifecta he was responsible for this Sunday. 21 of our 31 points. Now, had it been any other running back that we have on our team playing all the minutes or the bulk of those minutes, other than Christian, who would have accounted for those 21 points? So, Christian McCaffrey, welcome to San Francisco. We cannot wait for the next few years and hopefully all the way through the end of your career. Faithful, Christian McCaffrey is only 26 years of age at this time. Also, so he's only 26. We have him for this season and the next 2 before he would be scheduled for free agency. So we can get to see him throw the only 30-yard touchdown passes that we are able to complete this season. Because so far he's the only person to throw a 30-yard touchdown pass this season. Not many have been a good enough number. I'll take that back. A good enough number have been attempted. About a good handful of them have been attempted, but they have not been completed. So Christian McCaffrey has done well for us. He's been a welcome addition to the Niner gang and to the faithful. He fits right into the locker room. He was basically asked what he felt best, and he refuses to say anything about himself. He was asked after the game, how did it feel to do great or to just be Christian McCaffrey? And what he says that he thinks he's most happy with is the way he fits in with the guys and the way that we are now starting to get a winning streak going. The way the team played, the fact that we got the W was the most important thing to Christian McCaffrey in that game. So please, McCaffrey, that like button, subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy. We are on the way to 400 subscribers. We did not make it by Halloween because today is November 1st. But thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel over the last month. It's been quite a few of you. Thank you to my children for the express motivation to try to do that. So it really helped the channel. We will get there, and each one of you are appreciated and special in us doing that. So just like that, though, Christian McCaffrey, very special, and we appreciate his ass like a motherfucker, okay? Because he looked like Billy Hoyle in White Men Can't Jump on the field this weekend. He really did. He basically looked like a man amongst boys, and he's only like 5'9", 5'8". He's pretty small, but he was kicking ass on the football field, and the Los Angeles Inglewood Sheep felt every little bit of it. So the fact that Christian McCaffrey is here with us, we are now on the bye week, and shout out to the faithful. We got through it. We are 4-4 right now, second place in the NFC West. I saw us as high as 5th in the power rankings for persons this week. Although we're second place in the NFC West, we are at 4-4, and we are at our bye week, some place where we definitely need to be because we have a lot of injured players. So hopefully some of them can get healthy. A lot of them actually are expected to be healthy, one of which is Mr. Elijah Mitchell. So it came out today that Elijah Mitchell is expected to be healthy and ready to go for week 10. So what does that mean then? That means that we just signed Christian McCaffrey 12 days ago, 13 days, whatever the hell it is, 12 days ago. And now Elijah Mitchell, who's been on the injured list, basically IR, has been out all season, is coming back when we come back to football, the Niner gang. So someone's got to go. And today, the 49ers actually took care of that and picked out who that was going to be. When we traded Jeff Wilson to the Miami Dolphins to Mike McDonald's little shriveled self, and the Dolphins now gave us a 5th round pick that I'm assuming that the 49ers are going to use to go ahead and try to move up in the draft, or at least get more picks, or at least one higher pick, because right now we don't pick until the 3rd round of next year's draft. So we did trade Jeff Wilson today. Shout out to Jeff Wilson, Mr. Texas route. He's from Texas. It goes together, right? But Jeff Wilson, you will be missed. You were an excellent 49er. You upheld the Niner way 100%. So thank you to everything that you did for the team. But we did need that 5th round pick. And Jeff Wilson was sent to the Dolphins today. Mike McDaniel, he wants to get the 49ers South Beach. His entire basically team outside of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are 49ers, and his entire coaching staff are 49ers. So now he has Jeff Wilson to add to that. He already has Raheem Mostert, as we all know. And I really want to know what the faithful think about that. So let me know in the comments now later whether you slipped in here on purpose, which is, think about that, or whether you fell in here on accident. Please let us know what you think about Jeff Wilson getting traded today. David McNew in the building. What's up, David? How you doing, brother? Welcome to Platform 246. Thank you for stepping up, brother. How's your day been? How you feeling about the news we're talking about right now? Jeff Wilson today was traded to the Miami Dolphins. We received a 5th round pick. Faithful, I'd like to know your thoughts on that as a whole. I'd like to know if you think we received enough back for it. You got to remember, Jeff Wilson was undrafted, some 3 years ago. Jeff Wilson was an undrafted player, undrafted free agent that we signed. Kyle and John signed. So getting a 5th round pick, as David's saying, of course, my man David knows his Niner football. We acquired one of those 5th rounders that we use very wisely. Good trade. I agree. It's unfortunate. We have 5 running backs right now. Would have been active come week 10 when we come back from the bye week. That's Ty Davis-Price. Lord, let me get them all. Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, and CMC, Christian McCaffrey, right? So somebody's got to go. Once again, unfortunately. And Jeff Wilson's a great dude. Yeah. And boom, he was not only great call there, David. He's not only an undrafted. Yep. He's the only person that we don't have under contract next year. It's Jeff Wilson. So he could leave for squat, for not a 5th rounder. Excellent, David. I wish somebody else, one of our mods was here so we can give you a medal right now. I could probably do it if it would come up. I would give you one. It's not really coming up. It's very difficult. Here, you know what? I'm gonna do it too. You deserve a medal for that. That's an excellent point. Not only is he, of course, a undrafted free agent that we picked up a pick for, he's also scheduled to become a free agent next year, Jeff Wilson. So when that happens, what's going to happen to us? He's going to leave to Miami anyway, go down there with Mike McDaniel to give him a whole bunch of money, sign to a 3-year, 4-year deal or some crap, and we get nothing. And that's not what we want. There you go, David. You earned that. That was an excellent point. So he's scheduled to be a free agent. Now, Ty Davis Price is on a rookie contract. Jordan Mason is an undrafted free agent also. Christian McCaffrey has a relatively good deal when you look at it with perspective, at least for right now. And then we have Elijah Mitchell, who's not making much money either. Is Elijah Mitchell undrafted? Where we get Elijah Mitchell at? In the 6th round or the 7th round? Or was he, I can't even remember at this moment, but they're not getting paid high. Jeff Wilson is the longest tenured Niner running back, and he was scheduled to be the highest paid Niner running back outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's Christian McCaffrey. So, how the faithful? I just want to know if the faithful think that was a good trade or not. Should we have traded him at all, and do we get something that was of value? A 5th round pick. Now think of our recent 5th rounders. Think of all of our 5th rounders. Shit, I think we get one every year. George Kittle, Talanoa Hufanga, Samuel Womack. I want to say there's 1 or 2 more. Yo, Dre Greenlaw. We do pretty good with 5th round picks historically, Kyle and John. So I think that will be good. But to recap so far, we talked about the fact that James had his best game of the season. Not only did he have his best game of the season, he had his best game as a 49er, in my opinion. Not only did he have his best game as a 49er, he had the best game of his life. 21 of 25 for 235, 2 tutties, no pickies. Now, I want to state that even though he did not complete an interception, he tried to. He didn't get it, though, thankfully. And I don't know that even if he had got 1 or 2 or both of them, that we wouldn't have won that game because we own that team down in Inglewood. It is eventually it's just Levi South. And they really can't dispute that. We've beaten the Rams 8 times in a row. At one point in history, the 49ers have beaten the Rams 30 times in a row. And we scored points in the second half. We need to keep that up. Absolutely, David. Something that we haven't been able to do all freaking season long. 3 points and just dust. That's it. And that's not going to get it. You see what that got us against Kansas. You see what that got us against Denver. Against Chicago, who is putrid. They're a putrid football team. They may as well be a basketball team. They may as well be the Bulls. It may as well be the Bulls playing on the field, on Soldier Field. Because the Bears suck. But they beat us. Boom. David, I would give you another award. If I want to get on my phone and get on the stream. Start CMC at quarterback. Then we will actually be 11-11. Make that motherfucker like Taysom Hill. David, that's not a bad idea. Sit James. No, we're going to take it easy on James today, David. We'll take it easy on James. He has the same amount of letters in his name as you. No matter which way you slice it, we'll take it easy on him. Okay. We want this to be a positive, faithful stream. But he played well. He did try to throw some picks. He did not complete them. He stood tall in the pocket. I'll give it up to him. He tried to throw the ball downfield. He was successful sometimes. He wasn't other times. He stood tall in the pocket though. He was still tap dancing while he was in the pocket, But he did stand tall in the pocket and deliver the ball downfield. We needed him to do that. We need more of that, and we need more scoring in the second half. We need Kyle to continue to keep his foot on the gas in second halves coming up this season. So he got help with that because Christian McCaffrey's on the team. He threw a touchdown pass to Brandon Ayuk, who's been balling his ass off, and not just as a receiver, but as a blocker in all phases, a wide receiver blocker for wide receivers or for running backs. Brandon Ayuk is on his way to, I think, 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns is what he's averaging right now. 80-something catches, 1,100 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So it'll be a breakout season for him if he can get to those numbers. That's, of course, if James can help to get him there. But he does have touchdown passes he can catch from CMC, who could maybe start like Taysom Hill and just set this league on fire for the next 10 weeks. Just fucking do it, Kyle. Just do it. Last year, or the last 10 weeks of the season, you did the same shit. You made Debo a wide back out of nowhere. You act like people in faithful act like you were doing that all year, like you've been doing that since Debo's been here. But no, we just started doing it at the end of the season and nobody knew what was going on. But obviously, they clearly know what's going on now. But we have 4 good running backs on the team, Christian being the top of that chain or the end of that chain. And he had an outstanding game. He threw for a touchdown pass, ran for a touchdown, and he caught a touchdown pass where it looked like he picked off George Kittle because James is usually going looking for George. And George was in the general vicinity. But Christian McCaffrey is Billy Hoyle from White Men Can't Jump. And white men can jump. So we need to stop saying that. We don't need to say that anymore because white men can jump. Because I just saw, speaking of Chicago, I just watched Zach LaVine of the Bulls dunking on everybody. Kyrie and Kevin, whatever the fuck his name is, Durant, they were just shitting themselves because Zach LaVine going bananas on them. He's half white and he can jump a whole lot. So can Christian McCaffrey. He jumped up, caught a pass, the best looking catch I've seen in quite a while as a 49er fan, to be honest with you. And it looked like it was in front of George Kittle, and he was trying to pick him off because, of course, James is trying to get it to him. He saw him, but and then somebody asked George Kittle in the press conference right after the game, was the ball intended for him or Christian McCaffrey? Now, we all need to remember that was a broken play at that moment. At the moment that Christian, he saw James tap dancing a little bit, and he said, let me try to help him out. So he, ran to the back of the end zone. James, to his credit, saw him and threw the ball fairly on target. But Christian McCaffrey's only 5'9". So what he really saw was 6'4" George Kittle in the back of the end zone, and that's where he was trying to go with the ball. But Christian McCaffrey said, I'll take that. Jumped up, caught that pass, snagged it. So they asked George Kittle after the game, oh, yeah, so who's the ball coming to? He said, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what he said. I can't remember right now because he irritates me now, unfortunately. I apologize, faithful. Please don't unsubscribe. But George goes, yeah, it's okay, but Christian got it. It was great and blah, blah, blah. And I got one at the end there, so I'm happy. It's like, how old are you? I got one at the end there. Christian didn't say that when he scored 3 touchdowns. I was glad I scored. No, he didn't even mention himself. But George Kittle, ever the comedian. So Christian McCaffrey playing his ass off, and then Elijah Mitchell will return for Week 10 against the Los Angeles San Diego Superchargers. I'm not sure if that's a road game or a home game. Either way, it's not going to matter. It would still be a home game. It's a home game against the Chargers coming up in Week 10. We'll have quite a few players coming back from that game. That's at least allegedly. Eric Armstead, Elijah Mitchell, Azeez Al-Shaair possibly. More people in the secondary. People will be rested. Jimmy Ward will take his cast all the way off, maybe. Everybody can heal their nicks up, and then we can let loose on the Chargers with the fucking T-Bone T-Rex backfield with Tyshawn, Christian, and Elijah in the backfield, all the same. Just open. Kyle, don't even play. Don't even BS. Don't even wait, Kyle. to start, whether we kick off, hopefully Fred Warner wins the toss and we kick off. But if he doesn't this time and we start with the ball, fine. The first thing everybody sees is the T wing in the back, okay? Jimmy's T, James's T, James and the giant T in the back behind him. T formation or diamond formation, triangle formation, whatever you want to do, circle formation. I don't give a box, whatever you do, Kyle, box and one. But put Tyshawn, Christian, and Elijah in the backfield at the same time. Niner by nature in the building. What's happening? Please debo that like button and sack the like button. I sincerely appreciate it. How you doing tonight, Niner? We're talking CMC, talking number 10, talking your man 10. He had a pretty efficient game. We got to respect it. At the least, he was efficient. Now, he did attempt to throw 2 interceptions, and many faithful do not want to speak about that at all, but he didn't complete those passes. So that's good. But he did complete 21 of 25 for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. One, he tried to throw to George Kittle, but Christian McCaffrey is Billy Hoyle from White Man Can't Jump, and he intercepted, jumped up. He caught a lob. That was a lob, like an alley-oop in basketball. So Christian McCaffrey can obviously dunk, and he can catch James's passes in the end zone. So thank you again, Christian. We also talked about the fact that Jeff Wilson, shout out to Jeff, salute to you, dog. The Texas route killer. Jeff Wilson has been traded to San Francisco South Beach, and the Miami Dolphins now have him. So Mike McDaniel has everyone that's ever played under him before that he could possibly get to the Dolphins, the 40 Dolphins, and all of the coaches that used to be on our team, including him. They are now Miami Dolphins. And then, of course, we talked about – well, actually, I wanted to read. John Lynch was interviewed today, and they asked him about telling Jeff Wilson and why it was done this way in the first place. He says, at some point, you can only keep so many just from a roster approach. We know how John talks. Like, we knew when we made the Christian move, and it was a good Christian move that it was, someone was going to have to go, and ultimately Jeff's the one. So it starts up, we had a real strange amount of injuries to the backfield also, but he's been relatively healthy this year, but that didn't matter. He had to be the one to go. He would have been as our man David said earlier, he's not only an undrafted free agent that we just got a 5th round pick for, he was scheduled to become a free agent this offseason. So he was likely going to leave us anyway. Because somebody, even if he goes and does nothing, he's going to go to the Commanders for whatever, $12 million next year. And we wouldn't have got anything. So now we got a 5th rounder for an undrafted player who was going to leave us at the end of the season because his room is extremely crowded. And he knows at least one of those players in there is like 5 times better than him. So, unfortunately, Jeff Wilson did get traded today. We did pick up a 5th rounder. We talked about some of the 5th rounders that we've had in the past. George, who scored touchdowns on back-to-back weeks. Shout out to you, George. Maybe you haven't been watching as much wrestling. Talanoa Hufanga, Samuel Womack, the returning, or no, he's still here, Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw is also a 5th round pick. Somebody starting on our line almost assuredly is a 5th round pick. I'm going to guess. Somewhere. So we've done well with 5th round picks, and then also we have not even a 1st nor 2nd round pick next draft. So we may use some of those picks that we have. We have 9 picks in total starting in the 3rd round next season. So I anticipate John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan probably packaging some of those picks together to move up in the draft next year, hopefully to get into maybe the back half of the 1st round or even at least the 2nd round. Who do we draft in the 2nd round this year? It escapes me at the moment. But we also talked about Kyle and CMC's picture in the doldrums, the underground basement in Inglewood. standing face to face to each other. What do y'all think they were saying? That picture went viral on Twitter today. Picture of Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey with some big ass tan khaki pants, standing in the back in a long belt for some strange reason. But standing there looking face to face with Kyle Shanahan, and just what were they saying to each other? I'm about to unleash your ass. I think that's what he was telling them. Man, are you ready? I'm about to unleash. The team doesn't even know the shit that I'm about to call and when I'm going to call it. We're about to get footloose out here. So they did that. We got the win over our children. It's a regular day. And then again, the most important thing I want to talk about going forward is we have our big game coming up now against the Chargers. Are we going to get some momentum going? Consistency. Now, can our quarterback, James, consistently play the way that he played this last? Because if he plays the way he played last Sunday, I don't think that there's any team in the NFC that can beat us. We go to the Super Bowl. Now, what happens against us, between us and Buffalo, who knows? But if James plays the way he played this past Sunday, no team in the NFC would beat us. Probably the rest of the year. We only have to worry about the AFC, where people actually have outstanding quarterbacks. And they know what that feels like. We faithful know what it feels like too. We know what it looks like. That's why most of us are so upset these days. But everybody's back after the break. Big City man in the building. What's happening, sir? For who? For what team, brother? For the AFC teams? Oh, and then boom, I missed something earlier. My fault. David Mack News says James does try, sometimes too hard. Yeah, sometimes too hard. If who doesn't run, some of them AFC. Oh yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah, I know they're one of their backs because it's Austin Eckler because he's on my fantasy team against my kids. All right, I think we're back. Yes. And yes, I think I'm back also. I appreciate you, Big City man. Yeah, I think only the one I know of is Austin Eckler. Outside of that, I have no idea. So yeah, if they can't run the ball on us, I think we win. I don't think it's going to be a problem, honestly, beating the Chargers. It's going to be a home game for us too. And what's happening, my man Grandizer? I froze bad, bro. And Grandizer, thank you for pointing it out. That's my man. I had to right. Oh man, Grandizer. So I'm gonna make you. We'll make you a mod. I gotta remember how to do that. I think I know how to do it. If you wanted, if you've been in, you jump in, brother. So I appreciate you too. Yeah, but I don't want to give you too much. What is it called? Too much responsibility if you don't got the time. I understand. Just let me know though. But yeah, man. They got Austin Eckler is a good back. Yeah, Austin Eckler is a good back. My fault. I'm back in the building. Jesus Christ. My apologies for that, folks. Yeah. So, let's see. Okay, so what's the answer? What's the question about Jeff Wilson? Grandizer, my fault. Oh, then okay. Hold on. We ain't there yet, bro. We ain't there. He's okay. He's all right. I mean, he fumbles a lot. So first of all, there's a couple of reasons why Jeff Wilson is gone. Faithful, and we can talk about it right now. At some point, I'm gonna be there, brother. When I get paid to do this, then I know. Yeah, I know that. And he's like, I'm booked, my G. You straight. One of these days, I'm gonna be at that point. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. It's coming. We gotta get to 400 first before I get to 1,000. So, but and stay working, brother. That's crazy shit. That's handling your business on the real. That's a good job, a hustle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This YouTube game is not easy. Okay, so you know who's on their line. Yeah, our O-line is troublesome. That's our problem. So then get James, they'll be in trouble. Unless Christians, maybe if we run the Christian package, they will be straight. But they had, oh shit, this is Joey against Nick. So maybe now the Sports Center guy at the end of the night, the one with the glasses and the fucking helmet thing that comes on, we all know who the fuck he is. He's the main dude on Sports Center, right? This motherfucker said, "Look at Joey Bosa with so much energy. Look at Joey Bosa here." I was so mad watching that shit Sunday night. Like, his name is Nick, Lo. The whole world, his name is Nick. He's gonna win it. He'll win the thing. He ain't gonna still gonna call him Nick. But they have a tough defensive line. They also have Mack, right? They have Khalil Mack. Bookends. He's no Elijah Mitchell, Grandizer. No, he's not. First of all, he's an undrafted free agent that we got a 5th round pick for. That's a steal, basically, or it's at least a little pickpocket, at least. So, outside of that, he's, as David McNew said earlier, he's scheduled to be a free agent next season, at the end of this season. So he would have been gone anyway, because the Commanders are going to give him like 10 mil or some shit like that or whatever. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't have gotten anything for him. And then he also can be injured like every back that plays for Kyle. I'm not going to put that on any one of our backs. Christian, you're next. But he fumbles a lot. A lot. Hopefully he'll fumble against us in like week 11 or 12 whenever we play Miami. Hopefully we'll get to see, we'll show the world exactly why we got rid of both Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert when they play our defense. Does he fumble a lot? He just fumbled like either 2 weeks ago. He just fumbled against Kansas City. I'm sure he fumbled against KC. Yep, they got Joey Bosa. So look out, James. And they got one good. Yep, they got one. Not we, James. James does, but I feel you, dog. They do have one, I think, good, at least one good linebacker. All right, so Granddaddy says, I was told via a Finn's content creator that the Rams wanted Brian Burns. They did. They tried. We'll talk about it. But when they found out he was going to be traded, so Rams went after Bradley Chubb, lost out on him too. Yeah, so the joke I heard going around was that the Rams offered 1st-round picks for Brian Burns, but they're in like 2021. So like somebody said that nobody want no picks from when the kid's in kindergarten right now. The kid ain't even in college yet. So the Rams don't got any picks. So yeah, I think that was 100% true. Gave up a 5th rounder for a fumbler who's injury prone and was undrafted. So, I mean, I hopefully I appreciate that. I think the Niners appreciate that. Hopefully it works out that way for us. We'll find out in 2 weeks. Yeah, bro, he fumbled the milk at home. He sure did. No wonder you moderate channels, bro. I gotta remember that you do that when I finally start getting paid. If you're not so booked, that's a good one. Yes, he fumbled the motherfucking milk at home, G, while he's right here live. He fumbled his phone looking at YouTube right now. His phone, boom, right in his lap. So, Jeff, no disrespect. Salute to you. Niner Ganger, don't bang. The Texas Route Killer. As I said earlier, I appreciate you. Hopefully they updated Madden. I don't know who's on we don't have another player on our team now. I guess somebody's going to come up from our practice squad. So, but this upcoming game against the Chargers, even though we have to go up against that line, what they have to go up against is probably the T-Rex, the T-back, the triangle formation. Like, it's morphin' time. You know what I'm saying? Debo, Tyshawn, CMC, and Elijah. All these fans were saying it was a great trade. I said, hold up. Ask Frank Nice fans about him. The objective one will tell the facts. Yes. Well, I think all I said, I hope, thank you. I appreciate you, brother. I think all I gave was facts. He was undrafted. We got a 5th rounder for him. Our 5th rounders are as follows: George Kittle, All Pro Talano. Not Talanoa. All Pro Talano. Dre Greenlaw. Samuel Womack. I think I'm missing another. And thank you, Grandizer, for the question, man. I sincerely appreciate it. And for keeping the comments going. Sincerely, y'all. I appreciate all y'all coming in tonight. Sincerely, I really do that. There was no one in here for a while. So y'all, my dudes, I appreciate that. It is getting to the point where I think I'm about to go try to settle in for the night, though. So if there's no questions from the faithful, we're going to wrap it up. We have 2 weeks, faithful, to sit with no football. I think that a lot of us can use that. So I'm going to try to do some streams in between now and then. My man, so first of all, faithful, if you didn't know, we do that for every game. As a matter of fact, if you even know what wrestling is nowadays, these days, I'm gonna fucking call wrestling Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Fuck with me. If you got the Peacock app, it's just that you might as well just be watching the football game with me. I promise you. So yeah, I can call whatever, to be honest with you. But yes, I appreciate that, my man, for real. And we do stream every single 49ers game here live on platform 246. Monday, Sunday, Thursday, whatever. We're going to stream it. We'll be here live. Next weekend against the Chargers, we will be live, of course. Undrafted free agents, fumble, set free agency. 3 strikes are out, bro. And it's a deep run. Kyle can take anybody's running back anywhere, just about anyway. And it is a deep running back draft next year. Look at old boy from the Jets, even though he just snapped his twig, unfortunately. And prayers up to him. That was cold shit, but a boy from the Jets, Breece Hall. There's running backs that still come out of out of college that are good. We see all the time. The league is full of good running backs. So Kyle will get one. Kyle and John will get one next year in the draft again, even though we have Christian McCaffrey and la. So whoever he decides is not good this year and he's going to cut next year, he'll draft another one. And yes, he's set to hit free agency. And next Sunday, yes, sir, my man, I will be there, Big City, for sure. Hopefully you're there. Grandizer, you and yours be safe too. Everybody be safe. It's Tuesday. Hopefully you have a good Taco Tuesday. Go Niners. Get healthy. Yep. Oh, so let me see. Who's my favorite Niner? Get your popcorn ready. And then you got Ronnie Lott, a close. So my favorite Niner of all time is number 8. The lovely lefty. You know what I'm saying? I just gave him that name right now, live. I just, boom, sprinkled it. Lovely lefty, Steve Young. He's my favorite Niner. If you go to defense, you might take your guesses. You got your Ronnie Lotts. You got your BYs. It must be some kind of cyclone going on between the West Coast and the East Coast, damn it, Bird Gang. What's happening? Thank you so much for stepping up. How are you? And I know it's late over there, so I sincerely appreciate you jumping on, stepping on the platform. Hopefully we'll see you this year. But yes, my favorite Niner is on defense, Gary Plummer. Y'all remember that Gary Plummer hit? Yeah, Patrick Willis. Crazy Juice, shout out. Thank you for stepping up. What's happening, Crazy Juice? Hopefully everybody can hit that like button. I appreciate you so much for coming in tonight. Oh, well, you heard Mrs. Bird Gang 31. She's undefeated. You heard what she said. You read it anyway. Well, I'll read it to you. Make sure to hit that like, everyone. It goes a long way. And those are the perfect words. Believe me, it does. But my favorite Niner of all time on defense would have to be Gary Plummer. He's the one that came over the line of scrimmage, fucked Thurman Thomas up. I believe it was Thurman Thomas still then. Knocked him cold out. And then Lee Woodall picked up the ball and just started chugging down the field. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. He's the reason why I make my linebacker player on Madden number 50 all the time. Gary Plummer. Right now, Ronnie Lott cut off his damn pinky finger to stay in the field, but Juice had to get on the sideline and let the rest of us do Niners football. What's wrong with you, Juice? What's wrong with you, Kyle? Look at your history, Kyle. Look at your history. Look at the players that have come before you. Sincerely appreciate it. And I like everybody being here with us tonight. Sincerely. David McNew, fire. You're right. Ronnie got to, let me see. Ronnie got to be 2 just for that. Yeah, he got to be number 2. Just because he cut his finger off. He needs to be number 2, at least minimum in all of our hearts. He should just get an asterisk next to it. He should probably just be right up there. He cut off his finger for us, and it probably was likely a meaningless game 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 35, whatever. He has to be at the top of all of our lists. And all y'all are definitely at the top of mine. Oh, yeah. About that. Didn't Jimmy Ward play on a broken hand, but Juice took the day off for church? Jimmy Ward was taking his cast off in practice, apparently. They were saying now they do play two. Okay, what I will say is they do play two different positions. Juice has to block, right? Or he has to catch. And it's already hard enough to catch them paper airplanes that James throws as it is. So while Juice, has to block, and James is immobile. He is the statue of the West Coast of Liberty, statue of Santa Clara. So, or Black Swan. He's either a statue or Black Swan, none of which are good for a football player and quarterback of our team. So he has to block for him, and with a cash on his hand, I'll take it easy on my nigga. I'll even call him that. I'll take it easy on him. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But yes, Jimmy Ward did Jimmy Ward try to take his cast off in this practice this past week? I think like Thursday's practice, Jimmy Ward had his cast off, but I think they made him put him back on for the game. So I'll see y'all for the next game. Thank all y'all for coming in tonight. Y'all made the end of the stream very, very, very good for me. Every single one of y'all. Big City, Grandizer, Mrs. Bird Gang, Crazy Juice. I want to make sure I get everybody. David McNew, first and foremost, and Niner by Nature. All y'all, much love to you. I will see y'all soon. Thank y'all so much for watching. Niner gang or don't bang. 4-4 ends up as 13-4, if you ask me. And then we see Mrs. Bird Gang and Mr. Bird Gang in the NFC Championship game. Y'all be safe.